Now, we've heard a lot about the campaigners Insulate Britain over the last couple of years. Their protests blocking roads have generated headlines, not to mention a bit of anger and steam coming out of the ears for some people as well. But how much have we actually thought about the message that they're trying to get across? How well insulated is your home? And are you wasting money and using more energy than you need to because your house isn't insulated well enough? The New Forest District Council is reminding residents they can save money, get value and help the environment by scrutinising insulation. And Nick Ford is New Forest District Council's building inspector. How are you, Nick?
Fine, thank you.
It's not a very glamorous topic, perhaps, but it is a good place to start saving money at a time when, more and more we're all finding we need to.
It is, and it's something which is currently, often overlooked. We all like our nice kitchens and our nice windows, but we don't think about the insulation values and what goes in behind the scenes in a construction project.
If I was a homeowner in the New Forest and I was thinking about an extension or something like that, or making changes to my house, what would be my first port of call? Would it be get on the New Forest District Council website and come and find your team?
Absolutely. You can drop us an email and then outline your project. Obviously, if you need planning first, that's always the first hurdle to get over, and get your planning permission in place. But once you've got that, if you need it, come to us. We can give you advice and help and point you in the right direction of what you need to do and the process to do that.
But I might also say, I've had expert advice on this. I've had the builders round. They've given me a quote, and sort of damp coursing and insulation and all that kind of thing is part of what they're offering. So obviously I understand about planning restrictions, but why is there a need to involve the council at that point?
The builder, any builder would also say to you, you will need your building regulations. So yes, builders can give advice. Some builders that they give some really good advice, and they know what they're doing, and they're really helpful. But they would also advise you to speak to us as well to make sure that the building regs elements are addressed, because they want us to come out to inspect their work to ensure it meets the standards, because it's sort of a bit of a backup to what they're doing.
What about if I'm not planning a big building project, Nick? I'm just listening to this and my home's in the New Forest and I haven't really thought about insulation, moved in or what have you, and expected that little colour chart that comes with the energy rating of the house when you buy somewhere or rent somewhere these days to have taken care of that. What kind of advice do you and the council offer for getting that sorted out, or at least finding out a bit more?
It's one of those things that it is an indicative chart. The EPC that comes to your property is indicative as what they think your house will achieve. But obviously by you living in it and how you use it can alter that. So by all means, speak to us for any advice, or go and get and speak to an energy consultant who can come out, go through your house and give you some pointers as to how you can improve your insulation and your quality of life there at a cheaper cost, hopefully.
And crucially, you don't want to be throwing money away, especially not right now with the energy price cap. It's raised already, set to raise in the autumn. It's exactly the kind of time to look at this. It's become a real hot-button issue, insulation. It's not something you might have expected to find yourself talking about on the radio, given the protests going on from people who think it should be done as standard in every home across the country and have taken really sort of extreme steps of protest to do that. How helpful is that, Nick? Because you want to talk about what good advice it is to do to save money, to save heat in your homes as well. But then it becomes a headline like that. Do you think it's counterproductive?
Well, no, because, you need these sort of issues to be raised. In June this year, the building regulations are going through a change, and one of those is insulation values, and the government are setting slightly more stringent insulation values for all new houses and extensions and alterations. So it does have an effect. It has a knock-on effect to government, but it takes a while to go through that process to get to the forefront where we are. But it is important to insulate. It's all about, at the end of the day, if you insulate your house well, it's going to be cheaper for you, regardless of the fuel cost prices. It will save you money in the long term.
And I think the New Forest Council is one of those that's issued a climate emergency, isn't it? And said we have to have an action plan to deal with this at home level. This is probably one of the most important ones you can do, isn't it?
It is, yes. Just look at how you use your house and where you can make savings with the right insulation. And if you're planning on doing an extension or alterations, that is the ideal time to think, right, let's get our insulation right first, and then work away from that with the rest of our build.
That's Nick Ford, who's the building inspector at New Forest District Council, 10:26.
Let's go! Every Friday.